Same for item 2, which appears on the consent agenda tonight, the alcohol license application. Any issues there? Third would be a resolution also appearing on the consent agenda. Chief, there you want?
Yes, sir. That's really what it is that we had some conversations at home with our consultants in DC, and we're looking at possibilities of what can happen with safety. Is going to be one of the biggest issues, and we're trying to put together a package to them to talk about appropriations. And what he suggested that would be very helpful is if we send this forward, because it'll really talk about safety portion of it, and get this together and send this to them and see if this can help as we go into the appropriation process.
Okay.
So we want to do this so we'll get it to them in time, and plan a visit next month, and that's why we want to try to get it together so we can get it in his hands so we can start working. All appropriation, not with this, but they recommended this was something of this amount.
Very good.
At least possible.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it was like 2 years ago when I went to visit, all our delegation in DC about this issue. And when you said get it in his hand, are you talking about Mike Rogers?
No, ma'am. We're talking about getting it to our consultants in DC so they can start putting Jordan Mills, getting that in their hand and working together just like we did before. They did it together, and then we actually put everything together so we can get it in their hand, and then follow up with a visit that we did before. But we're just trying to get something in their hand. They suggest this would be very helpful.
Okay.
We're going to February. Any further on item 3? Okay, folks, I'll turn to item 4 view, the CBG expenditures.
Yes, I hope everybody got this in their Dropbox that I sent this breakdown. We found out, and one of the greatest things when we hired those CDBG consultants, we found that we had funding that was available to do some projects, and then again, as I stated in the memo, then we had some savings, recognized some savings because of what happened with the Alabama Givers Assistance as well as the Rebuild Alabama. So we have about $300,000 left over from our 2022 bond. And those are the breakdown of some of the things that we were questioning that I think some based by council and department heads, other things that can be done within the community that I think would impact the entire community. And those are, the paving the 2 pavings and the Ward 3 that's been asked for, and that CDBG funds because it's an affected area. And Mr. Wilson's committed another $75,000 to that as well. And then the thing, Lincoln Park, we're talking about the restroom in Lincoln Park forever because it doesn't have one. Overcrowded, they use it quite a bit. And then HVAC for the fire station, which is needed quite a bit. We don't have the funding, in the fire tax to get that. And PPE that's left over for the new city hall. And when I'm talking about PPE, that's what's why there's touchless bathroom, touchless everything in the bathroom. There's money that's available for that has to be spent for PPE. And the other last one is that pump track and South State Park. There's been some mention of that as well. And we're talking about putting that over there in the area with the DHR, that area, that's back area. And that will sort of hook this thing into also 14th Street that hook up to the trail and try to get some use at that fitness trail that we've been put in place that nobody's been using Satchel for. So we're just trying to use those funding right now. That's money that we may not ever get a chance to do these things with. So now we're requesting council that we move forward with those projects.
Everybody give that those recommendations. Yes.
The skate park, you said over there by the DHR building, where the walking track is?
Yes. If you're looking at where the trail is now on, is that 10th, 11th. And if you look at the street that goes, Grove Street that goes there, DHR is there, but there's an area that goes up that hill of 14th Street. And if you can put that pump track there, that means you can go across 14th Street where the diamond hooks up and then get right on that trail, the other trail on 15th Street. So to put it all right there together downtown, it really would do something with the West Anniston area.
I don't know what.
There's a huge skating crowd now.
So if you go with that, let's start with that. The only thing we have to wait for, the CDBG has to do a 30-day period, waiting period. Once that's over, we can start moving on these projects.
So
No, there still will be probably about, in the bond, probably about, maybe about $75,000 after everything in the bond. And CDBG, what they have, everything else is going into admin, which can be done, and we can use that for something else. So there's something, and that way we can start anew, and that's what's so good about the CDBG funds. It will change a little what it's intended to do, to change a little bit of the city as a whole.
All right, Mr. Folks, I'll turn it over to you for the last two, both for the city hall renovation and your updates.
Yes, sir. The transition to City Hall, as we start looking at this and thinking about moving to new City Hall, we got to be in there on the 3rd of February, we got to get out of that building. But there's still little things, there's loose ends that need to be tied. So our recommendation to council is that we do an informal little ribbon cutting at 8 o'clock in the morning to get everybody in the building, so we just don't go into the building. But then come back, because we're not going to do our first council meeting there until the 18th of February. And on that 18th of February at 4:30 before we'll do a formal, we'll give invitation, a dedication ceremony at that time. So we can do the dedication at 4:30, and you all can move into the work session and into the new city council chamber at that same time. But that's good with council. And that will give everybody an opportunity to get there at 4:30 in the afternoon.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. Hey, I'm sorry.
We got to move in on the 3rd. Everything's going to transfer on the 3rd.
On the 30th?
3rd of February.
Okay.
So when we do that, we're just going to do an informal ribbon cutting, go into the building, and that's it. But then we're going to come back and give invitations out where everybody can come in. That means all the little kinks be worked out, and we can come in on that, the 18th, where we have a formal presentation, dedication to them. And so Jackson can put it out so everybody understands that. And keep in mind, we will be closed the 30th and the 31st, transition into the new building. So that's the plan, and I think that will work out. Ribbon cutting for Starbucks, groundbreaking service to Starbucks. We're asking council that if we could do that groundbreaking services for Starbucks on the 1st week of February. And you got a little time because what's getting ready to happen, that second week we're going to start going in there to actually start the work.
Could we do it toward the end of the week? I've got a jury trial in Marshall County on that 3rd. Y'all said y'all don't want to head up there right. The 6th or 7th.
Okay, yes, sir. We just want that first, so we can start planning that. That's probably
And the 6th is the chamber event we were talking about. So the 7th, you want to? That's a Friday.
The 7th, that's on Friday.
Y'all do with that?
7th, we better go with 7th.
Early in the day, later in the day, anyone? Earlier.
Whatever y'all think. I'm not good for it.
I can make it work, obviously,
It's up to y'all.
Dee Dee won't be able to until
Yeah.
later that evening, so it's really up to.
Okay.
Y'all said 2 o'clock, we was all in the warm because this way the store going at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So we start working on that.
Can we actually do 3? I'm sorry.
3, okay.
Yeah, 3. I'll know that.
3 o'clock on the
7th.
7th.
Yeah.
So Jackson, get with Toby, let's start working the details out. And Mayor, just a reminder, 2 amendments to the agenda tonight. One is to include the change order for City Hall. And that's for $1,500. That's because they found a leak up there to fix it. And if we went out and got that leak separately for a roof, it would cost us a whole lot more than that. So $1,500 of work order that we're going to do a change, and we need to do that quick so we can get that done before we get ready to move in on the 3rd.
So is everybody good with adding that as item C on the consent agenda?
And the last thing, just your amendment to adjourn the executive session is the last amendment you did make.
Scott, do you have a copy of that motion?
Yes, I have it.
Okay. Yeah. All right, anything, bro?
Just one other thing, an update. We did meet all department heads, met with Julie Borelli and Jules Moss last week to discuss how to move forward for this MDA transition. And we have a meeting with, the mayor and I have a meeting with Jason Odom and to talk about that. And then after that, we will have an update to the council on some record that this how this transition should work. Hopefully it should work. But I think we got a plan that that can make this happen, and we're looking at everybody, even Jules and everyone in agreement on this, I think it's March the 10th is that, when that those 90 days up. Everybody, I think all this can happen, but I will have to bring it to the council on how we recommend that should happen, but I have something to the council. But we are meeting, I want to let you know that we are discussing, and the meetings have been very cordial, all the meetings have been very good, have been very helpful, and so I think it's going to be a smooth transition, but it's just waiting. We're talking about maybe moving 2 phases, one be the property and all that goes with that, and then talk about the ESCAs, one goes with federal funds, some a second part of it. But we'll have something to council so we can address a prize council, so how it's going to move. And I think we should have something that hopefully by the next, the first meeting in February, have something in writing to you all, how we're going, and give you the recommendation or any guidance from council as necessary. All right, yes, sir.
A question, you know, I just sent a letter to my appointee to the MDA, thanking him for his service. He's done it 3 terms, and his expiration date is March the 31st, I read that today. Ward 1 is also up March the 31st. But I don't know if we need, you know, I don't know, should we send more letters to people that,
No, we're gonna have to do a reappointment, because that board is gonna have to stay around for a minute. That's what I can update you more on that before that board is gonna have to stay around, because again, when we talk about the ESCA funds, there's 2 different things.
I see what you're saying.
Wait, just for clarification purposes, so the MDA, even though we're gonna go through this transfer of assets, the MDA will actually still continue to be established for a certain period of time because of ESCA funds.
Maybe just a board, we call it a different board, but that's what we have to work out more.
Not the NDA.
Oh, okay, so this is the advisory board that we're discussing.
Yeah, that may have to stay in place.
I mean, maybe specifically for it. Yeah, but you're talking about the one that's there right now for us.
Oh,
The subset that essentially oversees the compliance aspects of.
specifically for ESCA. Okay.
But I'll be able to explain the board once we sit down and have this conversation and just see how all this works. And that's why I said I want to give you something in writing so you have something tangible in hand and actually look at this. Because I'm not clear on how it's going to work, but we got an idea how it should work.
And we'll be dealing with that one meeting.
Right.
Yes, sir. All right. Anything further? Stand here on the 5:30.